What's up, everybody? Jed Johnson here from DieselCrew.com. Again, of course, you know they call me Napalm. Hey, I wanted to put up a follow-up video about the Hafthor deadlift record attempt. So I've already put up a video and I gave my thoughts about whether or not I should, or whether or not I think it should stand. So I was operating on some pretty, what I thought were straightforward assumptions, that assuming they were correct. But as it turns out, we may all be somewhat confused about this or somewhat misled. You see, I posted that video on YouTube, then I brought it over to Facebook, and in both spots there were discussions that took place, and it turns out there was a post put up by Ode Halligan, and he says, "Should it count for what?" He says, "There's no governing organization of strongman." So I had never heard that statement before. I didn't know there wasn't a governing organization for strongman. I thought for sure because I know that there's a couple for, or at least I thought I knew there were a couple for amateurs. I figured that there must be something for the professional level as well. And obviously, the Rogue Record Breakers is like their own deal. So they're like their own governing body. But as far as like a governing body for like world records in the sport of strongman as a whole, and leading up to like World's Strongest Man championships and all that stuff, I guess there's no and above entity of the sport. I didn't know that. So yeah, I guess people can pretty much do whatever they want to. I was looking at it from a perspective of grip sport, North American grip sport and grip sport international, the basically the same organization, just a different name now. Everything's got to go through the sanctioning process. So, to make sure that all the rules are being done the same, the same type of equipment is being used, so that everything can be, apples compared to apples, oranges compared to oranges. So that's where I was coming from. I had no idea that there wasn't a governing body. So there's a lot more details to this than I realized, everybody. So, I stand by saying that, records should be set in competition. There should be standards for competition. And if you don't meet those standards, then it's not a real competition, and records shouldn't count. That's where I'm coming from. Otherwise, you have the situation where people can just decide they're going to go for a record one day. They can set everything up optimally in their garage or in their own personal gym, and they can lay claim to owning a world record because of something they just did in their training. Here's an example. If there's no expectations for how a competition needs to be run, then Arto Juronen is now the new world record holder for the two hands Euro pinch, because he just did something like 276 pounds in training, which is over the current world record on the Euro, but that was lifted by Cody Burns, I think in 2014. The old record would have been Cody's 274 and change, and Arto just did 276. So essentially, if what's being done that I see in this situation, what's being done, Arto could have claimed that he has a world record now. I don't think he's claiming that. He's lifted more than anybody else is that we're aware of, but that doesn't mean it's a world record, because it wasn't done in competition. It would have to be done in competition in a sanctioned meet for it to count. So that's where I'm coming from there, guys. I had no idea there wasn't a governing body of strongman. Hell, they can do whatever the hell they want to now. It's going to be cool to see anyway, obviously. Not taking anything away from Thor or Eddie or anything. You still got to lift it. Just whether or not it counts, that's the question. Depends on the angle that you're looking at, I guess. All the best in your training, everybody. Take care. Be sure to subscribe. Give it one of these. Any questions, leave them below. Later.